How many celebrity brands have you seen this week alone on your social feed? For me, it's become such a regular occurrence that I now lose count of how many I see. From skincare to tequila to shapewear to coffee beans, it's the new rite of passage for a celebrity or influencer. I'm Sammi Cohen, and this is Social Currency, a podcast that unpacks the stories that are shaping business, culture, and the intersection of the two. Hello, and welcome back to Social Currency, where we break down the business strategies, cultural moments, and marketing moves of the modern business world. And today we are talking about one of the juiciest topics of them all: when celebrities decide they are going to become entrepreneurs. It's the celebrity to entrepreneur pipeline: become famous for something or grow a following, then launch a product. But here's the thing. Some of these brands are wildly successful, generating hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue and becoming billion-dollar businesses, while others all but fizzle out and fade away over time without ever creating massive value despite the celebrity founder's name attached to it. So today we're breaking down why some celebrity-backed brands absolutely crush it, while others crash and burn. And first, I want to talk about the danger of a brand that is built on the back of a celebrity or public figure. There are so many cases where a celebrity may be canceled or the court of public opinion turns on them. So the two companies that I want to focus on for this topic are Blake Lively's Blake Brown Beauty and D'Soie, which is Katy Perry's non-alcoholic beverage company. Then we're going to dive into two industries where celebrity power runs rampant: the fashion and beauty industries. We'll play a game of comparing businesses within each category. First, we're going to look at Ivy Park, Beyonce's collab with Adidas that couldn't quite stick the landing. And then we'll switch to Skims, which is Kim's multi-billion-dollar shapewear rocket ship. And after this, we'll go into the beauty space, examining Item Beauty from TikTok star Addison Rae, which flopped, and Rhode from Hailey Bieber, which just sold in May for $1 billion to e.l.f. Beauty. And then we're going to talk about what actually separates a celebrity cash grab from a sustainable, sticky brand that people really love. Because let's be honest, fame might get you attention, but it does not guarantee brand loyalty. First, we're going to talk about the danger of the celebrity brand. Blake Lively's hair care line, Blake Brown Beauty, launched exclusively at Target in August 2024, right as Blake was promoting her film, It Ends With Us. Now, the brand had everything going for it: 7 years of development, strong initial sales that made it Target's biggest hair care launch ever, and $16 million in media exposure within just 1 week. And during the film's press tour, fans criticized Blake for her seemingly tone-deaf promotion of a movie about domestic violence, treating it more like a romantic comedy. And she then became involved in what's now a very public, massive lawsuit with her co-star Justin Baldoni. We've all heard about this by now. And according to reporting from the online news platform Puck, her hair care line sales took a massive hit, dropping 87% between August 11th, when they were at their peak, and September 15th. And that's the danger right there. One misstep in public perception can devastate your business overnight. Her brand is still selling at Target, but it's no doubt on a worse trajectory than it would have been had the Blake drama with Justin Baldoni not unfolded in the same way. Now let's look at Katy Perry's D'Soie, her non-alcoholic beverage line. While D'Soie hasn't faced the same level of controversy as Blake Brown has, it demonstrates another risk of celebrity brands: market saturation and authenticity questions. The non-alcoholic beverage space is increasingly crowded with celebrity endorsements, and consumers are becoming more discerning about which products are genuine versus simple cash grabs. And Katy Perry has also faced her fair share of public scrutiny. We cannot forget the 11-minute space flight that she was a part of with the Blue Origin Squad back in May. And the fundamental problem with celebrity-led brands is that your business success becomes entirely dependent on your personal brand. And when Blake Lively faced backlash, her hair care line suffered immediately, even though the product quality had nothing to do with the controversy. And despite the CEO of Blake Brown stating that repeat purchase rate for their products were up to 80%, that indicates that customers actually loved the product, yet the negative publicity still overshadowed everything. And this is why celebrity brands are tricky. For a celebrity brand to survive, you're betting on a person's ability to maintain their reputation indefinitely. And in today's social media landscape, that's an increasingly risky proposition. So now let's compare two celebrity-founded brands in the apparel space. We're going to start with Ivy Park. This brand had everything going for it on paper. Beyoncé, a household name, a woman who has sold out the largest stadiums in the world hundreds of times over, teamed up with Adidas in 2016 to create an athleisure line. And the first drops had a ton of hype. They sold out within hours and resale prices were climbing. But as the years went on, the cracks were starting to show. First, there were sizing issues. Many customers complained that Ivy Park didn't actually fit a wide range of body types. The line leaned into fashion-forward silhouettes, but left behind the masses who just wanted functional everyday athleisure. Second, the prices. Ivy Park's pricing sat in a weird middle ground. It was too expensive for the mass Adidas shopper, but not premium or innovative enough to command a truly high-end market. And that mid-tier premium strategy is a dangerous place for any brand, but especially one tied to a celebrity. The hype can fade fast if the product doesn't actually deliver. And third, the why. Ivy Park wasn't selling the vibe or aesthetic of Beyoncé. The product itself didn't solve a problem. It didn't fill a gap in the market. It was just mediocre sportswear made cooler with a celebrity name. And perhaps most importantly, Beyoncé isn't the type of person to be seen out and about in a tracksuit. The product she was creating didn't seem organic to her. And when the pandemic hit and athleisure sales skyrocketed, you would think that Ivy Park would ride that wave. But in 2022, sales for Ivy Park fell more than 50% to $40 million. So in 2023, Adidas pulled the plug on the entire partnership. Now let's compare that with Skims. Kim Kardashian built Skims with a very different mindset. She started by asking, what is broken in shapewear? And turns out there was a lot. Shapewear had a long history of making women feel awful. Sausage casing compression, uncomfortable seams, waistbands rolling down, and shade ranges that barely recognized the existence of women of color. And Kim understood that from her own experience wearing skin-tight dresses on the red carpet. So she really made sure that Skims was soft, comfortable, and breathable. It was offered in diverse skin tone colors. She had truly inclusive sizing. And most importantly, she marketed it in a way that felt empowering yet aspirational. And she didn't just slap her name on a Spanx knockoff. She fixed real issues. She put money into innovative fabrics, and she showed real bodies wearing the product. And the design was great. Skims expanded carefully, from shapewear to loungewear to swimwear, while always sticking to the brand's mission of solutions for everybody. That's why Skims is headed for a rumored IPO, and it last was valued at $4 billion. All right, next up, let's talk about beauty. Item Beauty was a classic influencer play. Addison Rae, who built a massive following with her dancing videos on TikTok, partnered with Made by Collective, which is a brand incubator, to launch a clean Gen Z-focused makeup line in 2020. Mind you, at the time, Addison had around 55 million followers on TikTok alone. She was one of the biggest stars on the app, and she had a captive audience of people who wanted to buy whatever she was selling. The hook for the skincare was simple, minimal makeup for a fresh and easy look. But here's the problem. It wasn't actually solving a problem or addressing an untapped area of the market. The market was already drowning in minimalist clean makeup brands. Think Glossier, Tower 28, there's so many. And many of them had brand loyalty, strong communities, and well-reviewed products. Item Beauty felt a bit redundant. The formulas didn't wow anyone, and there was no hero product. And there wasn't a compelling enough reason to switch from the countless brands already doing the same thing in the space, but they were often doing it better. Addison Rae's huge following created short-term excitement, but the brand lacked staying power. Once curiosity faded, there was nothing sticky to keep shoppers coming back. By 2023, Sephora ended the partnership and Item Beauty basically ghosted the shelves. So let's compare this Item Beauty meltdown with another company, Rhode by Hailey Bieber. Rhode launched in 2022 with an incredibly clear vision, skin so dewy that it looked glazed. And Hailey leaned into her own personal routine and experience with skin issues. Instead of launching a 40-product line, she started with a small, carefully curated selection. There was a peptide glazing fluid, a moisturizer, and a lip treatment. And that's it. The formulas were solid, the price point was accessible, and the packaging was minimal but chic. And Hailey's personal brand, looking very fresh, natural, radiant, lined up perfectly with the product promise. She was the poster girl for the products, and she featured them very regularly on her social media pages. Rhode skincare was designed to make you look like Hailey Bieber, the queen of the dewy, glowy trend that everyone on TikTok was trying to replicate. And because Rhode stuck to one clear vision, this glazed donut skin look, the messaging was easy to share and the brand built instant word of mouth. Rhode actually delivered on the hype. And of course, as we all know, as I mentioned earlier, Rhode was acquired by e.l.f. in May for a grand total of $1 billion. Let's zoom out now. What do these stories really tell us? Ivy Park sold activewear but didn't fix anything and wasn't a reflection of the celebrity behind it. Item Beauty sold influencer clout but didn't stand out in a sea of clean makeup. Skims had a problem-solving mission to make shapewear that didn't make you feel miserable and actually make you feel cool. And Rhode had a problem-solving mission to make hydrated, healthy, glazed skin achievable. This is the biggest difference. Fame gets you a launch, but that's it. And that's the whole benefit. As a famous person of any kind, whether you're a quote unquote celebrity or an influencer or a content creator, your following an audience gets you initial distribution. That power gets your audience to try something once from you, if at all. And if the product itself doesn't deliver in its efficacy, utility, messaging, and pricing, it's not enough to get a customer to turn into a repeat customer. And the last layer of this is the sometimes hard to pin down element of authenticity. Hailey Bieber built Rhode from her real experience battling skin problems. Kim Kardashian built Skims from her real frustration with shapewear on the red carpet. Compare that to Addison Rae, who didn't have a deep history in makeup artistry, or Beyonce, who was selling performance wear but didn't necessarily live in the leggings the same way that her customer base did. Authenticity matters because it makes the marketing seem believable. You trust that Kim knows shapewear. You trust that Hailey knows dewy skin. Consumers aren't dumb, and if they smell a cash grab, they're gonna bounce. If you're interested in launching a product at some point, the great news here is that everything that I just covered applies to anyone who wants to launch a business of any kind, even without the massive following. Regardless of who you are and what product or service you're launching, you need to solve a problem. You need to build trust, be authentic, and invest in a product that actually works. So that is it for today's episode, the behind-the-scenes truth of why some celebrity brands crush while others get crushed. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please leave me a review and share this with your friend who's about to order yet another influencer-branded skincare product. And remember, don't buy the hype, buy the solution. See you next time. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Social Currency. I've been wanting to launch this show for so long. I can't tell you how excited I am to do this and how thrilled I am that you're actually here listening. It means the world to me. If you liked what you heard today, please rate and review the podcast because it massively helps to support the work I do to bring the show to life. And if you want to keep up with the hottest business lore in real time, follow me on Instagram at Sammi Cohen Talks and subscribe to my newsletter, Social Currency, which is linked in the show notes. Social Currency is a production of Social Currency Media and Money News Network. The podcast is hosted and executive produced by me, Sammi Cohen. Social Currency is produced by the Money News Network team. See you next time.